Today I'm cutting open Sperry's duck boot to see if it's more than just a cool looking boot, because I really like the look of this boot, but it kind of has that $30 duck boot Walmart duck boot feel. So that's what we're gonna find out today. So if you're wondering where the Nick's video is that I've been teasing for the last couple weeks, I was supposed to post this week. Nick's asked me to postpone it till January because they're 18 weeks out on new orders because of how successful the Black Friday was and holidays orders are for them. And they wanna make sure that they're maintaining their quality and not growing too fast, because we've all seen it happen with companies where they get too many orders too fast, quality drops, they under-deliver. And Nick's is really cognizant of trying to grow the right way and expand their business and their product offerings the right way. So I'm happy to do it because I'm a huge fan of Nick's. So that's kind of the update, and that video is gonna be crazy. I guess you guys don't really know what it's about, but they built me the most overbuilt, over-the-top, indestructible, steroid injected boot that you've ever seen that's ever been built on US soil, and we put it to the test and had some help of some other YouTube channels to make that video, and it's by far the most ambitious and fun video I've ever made. So I'm super excited to show you guys, but I can't do it till January. So look out for that. Now let's go over the boot information. So the brand is Sperry. The model is the saltwater nylon duck boot. I got it in the navy. They retail for $120, but they're on sale for $84 currently. They weigh 1 pound, 1 ounce, and they're made in China. Now let's go over the information that we can gather about this boot before cutting it in half, starting with the upper. So this is a nylon, kind of quilted looking upper that I believe has insulation in it. I don't really know for sure because their website lacks a lot of information on their men's boots in particular, but specifically this boot, there's hardly any information on it. But judging from the women's version-ish of this boot, it has some thinsulate lining on the inside, so I believe it's somewhat insulated. The lining is a fleece lining, really similar to the Walmart boot, which is unfortunate. And then the insert is a fleece topped, really cheap foam insert. This is one of the cheaper inserts I've ever seen. And I don't love that fleece is on top of this, because fleece wears out really quick, because after your heel slips on it a few times, you really start balling the fleece up and it wears out pretty quick. But it's replaceable, so you can put a new one in if you don't like this one. Then as for a shank, I believe there's a shank in here. It's not the sturdiest shank, so it's probably a composite shank or something. And then to the construction of this boot, and that's maybe the most interesting and potentially damning thing about this boot, in my opinion. So with the LL Bean boots, this boot was a single piece of an injection molded rubber that's really thick and solid rubber. This boot by Sperry, they're built a lot more like a pair of Converse or Vans, where a lot of pieces are glued together to create the bottom part instead of a single piece of injection molded rubber. I'm not a huge fan of that style construction, especially for a boot that you're gonna be wearing in the weather, because all these little gaps and these places where it's all glued is a potential fail point, but I'm not sure how much of it is actually glued together. So I guess we'll see when we get it cut in half. Next to the stitching. So this stitching is a little bit wonky, that sews on the rubber to the nylon shaft of the boot. And that's one benefit of having that Puritan, that triple Puritan stitch, is you always have even stitching no matter what, because it's stitching at the exact same time. With individual stitching, you get a few wonky lines here and there, and it doesn't always line up correctly. And then for the overall look of the boot, I actually really like these boots, and I chose these ones instead of the leather version by Sperry because they're the same amount of money, and I thought it'd be interesting to kind of tear apart a synthetic version of a duck boot to kind of see how it was built and see what you get for the money, because usually leather is more expensive than like nylon, and so I was assuming that you get a higher quality insulation or lining, but so far I'm a little bit skeptical. So that kind of leads us to the next part. Pretty quick intro part. Let's cut them in half after we talk about Carl Friedrich. Carl Friedrich is a London-based premium accessories brand for the modern professional and traveler. With understated designs and modern functionality, they don't have a middleman, so you have access to that direct-to-consumer pricing with the Italian leather and premium craftsmanship without paying that retail markup. Made with vegetable tan vachetta leather, it's soft to the touch and ages beautifully over time like most vegetable tan leather does, and all of their products come with a lifetime warranty. They sent me 2 of their products to show you guys, this briefcase and their key organizer. The briefcase is a modern briefcase for 2020 functionality with traditional crafted materials, made from Italian vachetta leather with a smooth surface and natural look, premium quality stitching, made in Tuscany, Italy, and features a heavy-duty zipper with individually brushed teeth. They're so shiny you can see your reflection in every single one. And you can personalize this in thousands of combinations, available in 4 colors and multiple lining options. And I like that they use a thicker veg tan leather, because you guys know I love veg tan and I like a thicker leather. Their key organizer is a smarter way to carry your keys. It's a beautiful, practical, silent stack of keys instead of a messy chain. They use surgical grade stainless steel screws with Italian naturally tanned leather. This one's also available for personalization in thousands of combinations. It comes in 3 color combinations and 2 screw colors. And it also has a dedicated loop for adding bulkier keys such as a car key or a fob. And I like that they don't sandwich 2 cheaper, thin pieces of leather together to make this. They use one thick, heavy piece of leather without any stitching just to give you that functionality and that durability. So thanks to Carl Friedrich for sponsoring this video, and check them out via the link in my description. Okay, got it cut in half and it's not looking great on the inside. So let's see what's inside. Now let's go through some of the issues, starting with the heel. So these voids in the heel are great for comfort, but as soon as you wear through a corner of it, it allows water and other things to get in there, and you start to lose the structure of the heel after a little bit of wear. The shank is not in a great position because the only thing above it is a thin piece of rubber and the felt, and then the insole, and you might start to feel it underneath your foot after a while. There is insulation in this boot, but it's only in the shaft of the boot. There's no insulation where you get the coldest in the toes and in your foot. And then the last thing is you can really see how many layers they have to combine to make this rubber bottom part compared to the single piece with the LL beans, but it is cemented together really, really well. It's hard to tear apart. So now let's quickly go through the layers. We got that rubber outsole, a thin layer of rubber, the really cheap fiberboard, the fiberglass shank, another layer of the rubber, the felt, and then the next layer of felt above that with that foam backing and the insulation, and just a little bit of leather here at the very top. It seems like this boot is a lot closer to the Walmart $30 cheap boots than the LL Bean boots. There is some things that are better about it. You know, the lining is cemented in there really well. It's hard to tear apart. The fleece is backed. The rubber is a higher quality rubber, and it has a fiberglass shank, which is nice. So overall, I would probably stay away from this boot if you can. I don't think it's worth the retail price. Maybe at that $84 price point that it's on sale, you might be fine. I think you'll get some decent wear out of it, but it's not gonna be anywhere as durable and as high quality as the LL Bean boot. It's clearly in two different categories, even though the LL Bean boot's only $20 more, and I still think you're paying a little extra for the LL Bean name. So for the Sperry's, I think you're paying a lot extra for the Sperry name. It's not horrible, but it's not great. It's a very meh boot. There's a lot better boots out there, and I think the Sorels are gonna be better than these ones. So that's the next video, and then the finale, and who knows after that. So let me know what you think, and if you had a pair of these, let me know your experience. And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing, because it makes a huge difference. I'm trying to get to the 300,000 subscriber mark by the end of the year. We're closing in on it pretty quick, but I don't know if we're gonna make it. We're gonna give away these things, and thanks for all your guys' support on Black Friday, and I think that's everything. See ya.